Hello everybody, and welcome back. I do want to check a few things. I want to look at our journal. Okay, Kyavagama, we gotta get over there. Okay, this is a new quest from Scalander. Further investigation struck the penal world of Vibos 6. So we need to try and perhaps go there, because we don't want to ignore whatever Scalander needs of us, since he does work for the Emperor as well. It's not here in our system. Okay, I'm guessing that this, because it's so close to us, Mortis Acus, forge a path. Forge a path to Vabos 6. Alright, we do have a quest there, and this one is to save the Aldari survivors. But we don't have a quest here. Let's chart routes. We have not done this one, but we don't have a quest. Let's go ahead and warp to there. Cabela. As I am now fated to be your shadow, Dominanya, we must perform a ritual that will seal our bond, for it pleases the Undying One. Let us speak on the bridge, and I will take us to a place appropriate for the ritual. Oh God, I don't want to do this right now. What is this ritual? Come, and you will see. I do not wish to speak of the mysteries of the blood-spun web over the Vox. This knowledge is not meant for the ears of the uninitiated. All right, I'll be there. Thank you, Dolman. All right, well, let's take care of this. There she is.
Domin.
Cabela puts away the dagger she's been using to reopen her freshly closed wounds. I would like to know more about the sacred mysteries of the death cult.
The Vizier taught us that there are many like us throughout the Imperium who spill blood in his name. Death cultists, as they call us. He said that no two death cults are the same, just as there are no two identical stars in the void. I will tell you about the blood-spun web, but I cannot speak on behalf of all death cults.
Oh, that's fine. Why do you call yourself spinners?
Through blood, sweat, tears, and the strength of their convictions, the servants of the Undying One spin the souls of your subjects into threads of balance. This is why we refer to ourselves as spinners. Those who are newly committed to the blood-spun web are called lesser spinners. If they are faithful in their service to him, they may eventually become spinners. The most devout of us all are known as the High Spinners, of whom there are 7, each bearing a unique title. The Vizier, the first spinner, leads the cult. I, Cabela, am the second spinner. The third spinner's name is Io, and there are 4 more.
Interesting. How long have you been in existence?
Spinners carved the chronicles of our history on the stones of our temple long ago. But fate and time have erased our past. just as an exploding star erases a part of the galaxy from existence.
Well, what are the responsibilities of the Vizier?
It is the Vizier's duty to watch over the flock, to lead those who want to learn more of the Undying One, but are fearful of death, and guide those who seek answers in death, but do not know how to live. The Vizier protects all, those who do not know we exist, those who are grateful for our service, and even those who hate us. The Vizier sees what is to come, remembers the past, and accepts the present. They spin a web of faith and blood so strong that no enemy may sunder it. This is the Vizier's burden. This is the legacy of the matriarch spider.
Who is this matriarch spider?
It is said that she was one of many, born in the void, the Domin's subject. She honored death instead of life, and for this, she was persecuted. It is said that when the arch-enemy's forces invaded the flagship during a warp jump, she gathered the Undying One's servants around her and saved the ship from ruin. Together, they spun the first threads of the web to ensure that such devastation would never happen again. It is said that she was strong and indomitable, but as the years passed, her heart became as stone, and thus the Undying One whispered her name to the one who would become the first Vizier of the blood-spun web.
Well, you have satisfied my curiosity for now. I am ready for the ritual.
Then follow me, Domin. Are you ready to step into the labyrinth, Domin?
Oh, look at this. On the ground. It looks like a maze. What exactly are we gonna do?
This is the ritual of binding. By the Undying One's will, our fates are now as one. But I must still guide you into the maze of my mind. Although it is my predestination alone to walk its corridors in search of answers, your image must become part of the tangle. For I am your shadow, Domin, and your presence will aid me in sensing whatever threats may be looming over you.
Okay, I'm ready.
Your weapon for the ritual. Watch the lines on the floor. You can only pass through the gaps. The rest, you need not know. Enter the labyrinth, Domin.
Okay, she gave me a curved blade, offered it to me.
You are now upon the path. Your shadow now walks the labyrinth, and my gaze can now see when danger draws near you.
Nice. Well, thank you for performing this ritual, Cabela. I believe we are done here.
Thank you, Domin. Trust me when I say that it was important for me, for our bond.
Alrighty then.
The labyrinth has accepted you. We have danced amid the crossing lines and minds, and by the dance, we are now bound.
Let's get on out and see what trouble we can get into in this particular sector of the universe. We've got lots of planets. A gas giant. Seems to be a lot of those. No resources. Ooh, something here. Desert world. Bones in the desert. After analyzing the auger data, the officers were surprised to discover that the planet was once covered with oceans. Long ago, an unknown cataclysm caused the seas to dry out and turn the world into a lifeless desert. The most amazing discovery of all was the skeletal remains of colossal oceanic organisms, some large enough to be seen from orbit. Oh, wow. Life is fragile, even for creatures this enormous. Maybe there's something we're going to be able to do there later. Let's go here. Okay, nothing. Savannah world. And a burning world. Heinrichs. I have seen a planet burn once before. Sar Maga. Exterminatus was invoked. Incendiary cyclonic torpedoes were deployed. The world burned for several months until there was nothing but ash. Okay, well that's all that's here. So let's go. Oh, didn't give us a way to go. We have to go here first. We have to pay. Let's just make it dangerous. Let's see what happens. Oh, that's me in my private quarters. Oh no. What the heck? Abelard. Sourback, how could you have let this happen? An assassination attempt upon the rogue trader in her own chambers, right under the noses of your enforcers? A fierce growl rumbles deep in Abelard's throat. So that's what it was. Somebody tried to kill me. Jocasta. Unforgivable error. I accept full responsibility and ask for due punishment. I want an explanation, not vain self-chastisement. Put that weapon away and report. I guess she removed 'em all from her belt and wanted me to beat her with it. Sourback hesitates for a moment before putting them all away. Understood, Lord Captain. Reporting. All adjacent decks have been isolated. We have begun our search for the culprit and have set up investigation headquarters on the officer's deck. The substance has been analyzed and confirmed to be blood containing traces of major mutations. While it poses no risk of infection to your ladyship, the very presence of such genetic aberration on board is a serious threat to the safety of the ship and must be addressed promptly. Once word of this gets out, many among the crew will surely see it as a brazen challenge to your status as rogue trader. So what do you intend to do next? Lord Captain, this incident has cast a shadow on our honor. We only ask for one thing, a chance to absolve ourselves of our guilt. Allow me to head to the officer's deck at once, so that I may lead the investigation personally. Abelard. That is precisely what Lady Theodora would have done, entrusted the matter to her faithful servants. However, I would still advise you to observe the master-at-arms at work, Lord Captain. It may prove enlightening. Should the Lord Captain wish to monitor the investigation, my people and I would consider it an honor. I don't know, I guess I could try to do it myself. But I am curious to see the Master-at-Arms in action, so I will preside over the investigation. Of course, Lord Captain. I will arrange for an area befitting your status to be prepared on the officer's deck. All right, we need to observe. Sourback barks at the officers gathered before you. Her ladyship, the rogue trader, has seen fit to honor us with her presence in order to monitor the course of the investigation. Well, look at, they got all their food, everything. So I guess we're going to go over their notes. You are expected to perform your duties immaculately and report your every step to me. Should any of your actions bring shame to the enforcers, you will answer to me personally. Lord Captain, the 3 officers before you have been tasked with conducting the investigation. The first, Captain Klein, is a veteran with a record of quelled uprisings of mutant abominations in colonies. Captain Jinveri is young, but she has already preempted several mutinies among the ship's rabble. Lastly, there is Captain Hrotko. His interrogation skills deserve credit, and he knows how to instill fear and respect firmly in the minds of the riffraff. You notice the enforcers exchange a few astounded glances and throw their shoulders back. Apparently, they're not used to standing so close to figures as renowned as you. Abelard. Their drilling is good. Their service records are excellent. Let's see how they perform in the field. So, what are your findings thus far? We have discovered a worker's corpse, mutilated and desiccated. We are still looking into the man's identity and position, but the Chirurgeon's report has confirmed that among all the blood that was pumped into your bath chamber, the blood-carrying mutations was indeed his. Well, that was a heck of a lot of blood. I don't think that came from one person. The workers from the nearby decks have all been checked for genetic aberration, but the mutations identified are all within the norm for laboring masses. They are being rounded up for interrogation as we speak. Even taking into account the neighboring decks only, what constitutes hundreds of people? How do you plan to question them all? Our interrogation techniques are broad and varied. However, nothing loses the tongue like corporal punishment. Beatings, mutilations, torture, public executions. When combined with psychological pressure, such methods work wonders. Well, I guess it's an unfortunate necessity. Let us return to other matters. Yes, Lord Captain, most unfortunate. She has a bloodthirsty smirk across her face. She happens to enjoy it. That's terrible. What do you propose we investigate first? The body. Once we have ascertained the dead man's identity, we'll be able to locate his associates and narrow down the number of suspects. Captain Klein is in charge of examining the corpse. Yes, Your Ladyship. I am almost done with my report. As soon as it's ready, I'll deliver it to you. Then let us begin. While we wait for Klein to report back, please enjoy the refreshments that have been prepared for you, Lord Captain. A pair of enforcers with battered faces is escorting Infernus Master Heinrich Montag. His lip is busted, his knuckles are grazed and covered with blood, and there's a chewed-up iho stick between his teeth. We apprehended him while he was trying to break through to the detained rabble. Got into a scuffle. Barely managed to restrain the troublemaker. He demands an audience with you, Mistress Sauerbach. All right, I guess she's going to listen to him. Heinrich adjusts his clothes and approaches confidently. What do your enforcers think they're doing, Jocasta? Why are you assaulting my people, denying them water like they're criminals? You've got teenagers and elderly folk here. They're all just ordinary workers. They've done nothing wrong. Jocasta. No, Heinrich. What do you think you are doing? Attacking my people, chastising me in front of the Lord Captain. Get out before I have you charged. Your Ladyship, I ask you please to protect your servants from this abuse. Oh, earlier I did tell her she could use whatever methods. But he's right, and we have Iconoclast here. We need to cease the beatings immediately. Those people are to be provided rations and water. Well, I would dare not disobey your Ladyship's order, even when I disagree with. All right, we got 3 more points. Thank you. We won't forget your mercy. Enforcer Klein. Identifying the victim has proven impossible. His face has been smashed in, and his body is badly maimed. There are too many wounds to determine the exact cause of death, but presumably he died after the killer slit his throat. That's how they drained his blood. No external signs of mutation were found. In other words, we have nothing. This isn't a report. It's a declaration of our incompetence before the Lord Captain. You will keep digging around inside that corpse until you have produced some results. You say no external signs. What about internal? Performing an autopsy was inadvisable due to the danger of contaminating the area with genetic aberration. Jinveri looks at Klein with sympathy. She clearly cares about him, but does not wish to trample on her comrade's honor with words of comfort. Hrotko regards Klein with a contemptuous smirk, while Klein scowls back at him. I have heard that Medicae officers often perform autopsies in pairs. One cuts up the body, the other records the findings. You should get a partner, Klein. Jocasta, according to regulations, 1 enforcer is required. However, your ladyship's proposal is reasonable. Do you have someone specific in mind? Hirotko seems a capable man. At once! You're getting old, Klein. Let me give you a refresher on gutting mutants. Klein's lips tremble. His eyes bulge. He seems unable to stop wiping his reddened hand with a rag soaked in disinfectant. Disgusting, unspeakable. You can't even imagine what's inside that thing. They should have burned the body right there and then. Whoever killed him should have just finished the job. The wounds were so brutal I almost missed his work tattoo. The victim was a pipe warden, and I found this in his throat. A blood-stained raven feather. A certain legend springs to your mind, one involving Saint Quirine, who was granted a portent of enemies hiding among the faithful. When Quirine prayed to the emperor for a sign that might reveal the traitors, a raven's feather burst out of her mouth to inscribe the names of the conspirators. Only someone versed in the symbology of the Imperium could have left such a message. Let's see, do you remember Saint Quirine? Could this be a sign? Vile mutants do not make allusions to saints. This was someone versed in the creed. At least you did something useful on your second attempt. Rest assured, Lord Captain, disciplinary measures will be applied to Captain Klein as soon as we are done. We should run the victim's identification number through the masterwork log cogitator. If its machine spirit favors us, we will be able to narrow down the number of suspects. Jinviri, this is your arena. Jinviri approaches you, followed by a dignified woman in crimson robes. Allow me to introduce the esteemed tech priest Andravata Phi. She believes she has the right to obstruct the investigation and refuse to grant the enforcers access to the Magic Cogitator. Oh my. Tech Priest Phi. I request that the laywoman's willful activities be halted. She intends to torment the machine spirit of the master work log cogitator. The venerable spirit is ill and in no disposition to endure such abuse. Well, what is the problem with the machine spirit? The spirit is old and quick to anger. It therefore calls for sensitive approach, not a torturous intrusion by a brutish laywoman. Since the start of this watch, the spirit has been unwell. So we have been trying to soothe its woes by applying sacred engines and sensing the great machine's boards. The dogma of data quarantine prohibits disturbances of blessed machines found to be in such a state. Well, what exactly does this data recuperative dogma prescribe? Let no profane hand touch the sacred machine stricken. Let the mechanism be shielded from all worldly troubles by a veil of righteous litany, and let its shrine be thricely honored till the malady is no more. Judging by Ginevra's expression, she would rather have her profane hands touch Andravada Phi's neck. Oh my. Pascal, how profane would you say your hands are? I am Magos Explorator, and this vessel's engine seer prime. The profanity of this unit's hands, as well as the rest of its limbs, organs, and augmentics, is null. I thought so. Andravata. If the honored Maggles supervises the laywoman's tactful interaction with the spirit, I will sanction this disturbance. Yeah, you better. Omnissiah, preserve us. The Great Spirit was infected by a lay person. That is the culprit you should be searching for, not some pipe warden. Sacrilege! Uh-oh. Registering a Category 3 act of sacrilege resulting in a Category Epsilon Quadro transgressive scenario. Requesting the inclusion of the offender in the registry of wanted entities for the purpose of expiative disposal. Genervi. We have discovered that the cogitator's malfunctions began after an unauthorized attempt to access it was made. Someone deliberately angered the machine spirit in order to bury the work logs. Thankfully, the esteemed tech priest was able to appease the spirit and extract the information we needed. The victim's name was Orto. On the day he died, he was servicing valve 27B, which supplies water to the rogue trader's bath chamber. Well, there you go. He also had a partner who has yet to appear for duty since the incident occurred. We have a suspect. Who is this partner? Senior Pipe Warden Gwendon, number SP26855. No registered infractions, excellent discipline, perfect work record, exemplary servant of the Imperium. Master-at-Arms, how do you propose we find our new suspect? Before Sourback can respond, Hrotko cuts in. Your ladyship, there was a man named Gwendon among the rabble waiting to be interrogated. He immediately struck me as suspicious. Please allow me to question the man in your presence. Jocasta narrows her eyes, but all she can say is, bring him in. Before you stands a gaunt man in work clothes. His face is swollen from the bruises, and several of his fingers are broken and sticking out at odd angles. He stares vacantly into the distance with watery eyes. Start talking, you miserable wretch. You tried to kill the Lord Captain, didn't you? Hrotko grabs the worker by the lapels. Gwendon's coat flies open, revealing crude occult symbols painted all over his body. What's this? Heretical brands? Cultist scum? Gwendon yells, baring what remains of his teeth. Yes, it was me. I tried to put a curse on the Lord Captain. I killed my partner in a wicked ritual. I rubbed elbows with them demons, consorted with them, all to carry out a dark plot and doom the Lord Captain for the glory of my almighty master. We have ourselves a model cultist here. There is a ritual, a curse, and a plot. He even consorted with them demons. How kind of him to confess to all that immediately. Yeah, I don't know. A little too immediately. Hrotko, he has admitted to everything. I have insisted time and again that the assassination attempt was carried out by one of Voigtver's surviving henchmen, and I was right. I guess we weren't so thorough in clearing them out as we thought. We're going to assess the enforcer's reaction to the confession. Hrotko looks proud and self-important. Genervi's biting her nail as if hesitant to say anything. Sauerbach is observing the worker in silence, apparently sunk deep in thought. Meanwhile, Klein merely stands still with a distrustful grimace on his face. Other than Hirotko, no one here seems to believe that you are looking at the real culprit. Yeah, I would tend to agree with that. Does the Master-at-Arms not find it strange that the suspect is so eager to paint himself as a heretic? And in such preposterous fashion, no less? Jocasta, I agree, Lord Captain. I want the truth. Who are you, and who told you to give us this pathetic confession? The man blanches and starts bawling. He gives up on his sinister theatrics and babbles in the voice of a common worker. Forgive me, your ladyship. I'm not Gwendon, and I'm not a heretic. Yart's my name. I'm a laundryman. Please, have mercy. They took my family. That enforcer said she'd throw them out the airlock if I don't confess. She made me draw these unholy marks on meself. Abelard casts a significant glance in Sauerbach's direction. Your enforcers have a knack for persuasion, Mistress Sauerbach. This is ridiculous. Hirotko, what enforcer? Name. Give me her name. Genervi. Her name was Genervi. What? I swear I've not. We will deal with her later. I will handle the search for Gwendon myself. Lord Captain, would you have us execute this demon worshipper? Hold on. He's lied to us more than once. Well, I want to say that. I want to see what Generva has to say. I have never threatened his family, and I certainly did not force him to lie and draw heretical signs. I barely even remember his face. I may have interrogated him beforehand, but it was someone else who put him up to this. Hirotko, and yet he knows your name and pointed you out right away. Do you not find that funny? Klein, and do you not find it funny that your head is always up your ass, Hirotko? It's obvious that someone framed her. Cease this bickering. Lord Captain, what we have here is a liar, and a well-coached one at that. He will never confess on his own. What do you suggest we do? Well, we need to change our approach. Bandage his wounds and give him food. Talk to him gently and with kindness. A vein swells in Sauerbach's dimple. Should we also grant him a pleasure palace in the spires of Dargonis while we're at it? Lord Captain, I doubt you will get the result you desire, but we will do everything within our power. Thank you. What do you want us to do with him when we're done? Ah, here we go. Spare the man. Wash off those heretical symbols and let him rejoin his family. It will be done. Nice, I got 5 points. There's no cause for alarm, Lord Captain. This conspirator may have been a fake, but now it is only a matter of time before we find the real culprit. We have pipe wardens' names and identification numbers, and we know which clan they're from. We will keep pressing the riffraff until either the culprit confesses or someone turns him in. I will handle this. Enjoy your meal in the interim, Lord Captain. The scoundrel will appear before us soon enough. Lord Captain, the real pipe warden Gwendon has been found, and is being escorted here as we speak. Are there any remaining questions you wish to address before we hear from Gwendon? We already know about the body. Bring in the pipe warden. Senior Pipe Warden Gwendon, honored to serve, Lord Captain. I'm ready to confess to everything. Okay. Are you the real Pipe Warden Gwendon? I am, and I'm proud of it. A pipe warden's craft is hard work, but necessary. My number SP-26855. My work partner was the late Orto, number SP-24601. I oversee the water supply systems on the upper decks, sectors A3, K8, and R2. That includes valve 27B. There can be no mistake. I have verified his identity myself. It's also been confirmed by the other workers. Why did you fill my bath with blood? I did as the servant of death commanded. She said the Emperor gave the first spinner a sign that your ladyship should be bathed in the blood of poor Orto. And I was scared, so I obeyed. Oh, no. The first spinner? Are you talking about the vizier of the blood-spun web? Yes, that's him. He leads the death cultists, the lot who worship the Emperor by killing. His spinners hunt down heretics, but sometimes they take righteous lives, too. Their service is mysterious, fervent, and bloody. If the vizier ordered it, there must have been a reason. The Undying One must have revealed something to him that we are ignorant of. Heinrich. What a shocking turn of events, Jocasta. The Inferni are innocent. Who could have seen that coming? Could it be you were wrong to brutalize and humiliate my people? Jocasta, do not expect an apology from me. I was doing my duty. You can play the victim all you want, but I haven't forgotten the circumstances under which your blasted clan came to be on this ship. Consider every strike upon your backs a reminder of that event. What is the meaning of the Master-at-Arms' words about your clan, Heinrich? Oh, it's a story of days long past, one that Mistress Saubach greatly enjoys reminiscing about, as if she were there herself. My ancestors committed a trespass against your ancestor, and were made Inferni as punishment. I'll be sure to tell you this tale another time. All right, very well. I must concede as much, Lord Captain. The story can wait. We should first find out why the blood-spun web thought to bathe you in repugnant blood. Did you kill your mutant partner? I didn't kill him. I didn't know he was a mutant. Ordo and I always got along, even if he wasn't much for talking, but then a servant of death came from the darkness, ended him quickly but harshly. She bled him dry and put a black feather in his throat. She told me to pump blood into the pipes, and then she left. I wanted to confess, but I was afraid she'd come for me too if I did. Who is this servant of death? A holy slayer in black and crimson and bone, feared by all. They are quiet, merciless as death itself. They come from the shadows to kill, because the Emperor commands them to. You've already met the servants of the blood-spun web, Lord Captain. Their grim procession is not one the upper decks will soon forget. Oh, God, we're going to have him dragged here. Summon the vizier. I wish to hear his explanation. As you will. Your ladyship, if I may ask, what happens to me now? I never meant to anger you. I thought I was doing as the Emperor willed, but here we are. I'm a simple man. My eyes aren't what they used to be, but I can still smell rust in the metal, though not so much in people's thoughts. I'm not going to punish him, that's for sure. You acted as a true servant of the Emperor would. I will have you provided with the best ocular implant for your work. Oh, thank you, from the bottom of my heart, your ladyship. I'll serve you faithfully, and I'll never forget your mercy. The vizier of the blood-spun web treads lightly and silently, as if his old gaunt body has no weight at all. Dominania willed to see me, and so I have come. I have summoned you to discuss the actions of your apprentices. Let their deeds be weighed. Investigation has established that the blood-spun web orchestrated an attack on his lordship by means of pouring unholy blood into her bath. This affront, the vizier interrupts. Daman Anya knows the truth. So it was done, for so I did will. It was no affront, but a prophecy. For my hands to divine, unsullied martyrs offered their souls and bodies into his imperishable embrace. I gazed into the red rivers of their smoldering lives, and I did see a roiling unclean staining the bays, reaching for the anointed Lady of the Ark. In my apprentice's last sighs, I heard the Undying One's whisper. He bid me bathe the Daman in the blood of he who must go, and they who have been righteous, for this will shield the Daman and strengthen her body against the roiling unclean. I obeyed. Do you claim that what you did was because the God Emperor willed so? I speak, move, and draw breath because he wills so. I defy not the Undying One, neither in death that gifts and takes, nor in my living existence. What do you mean by the roiling unclean? He did not reveal, but it is corruption itself. It offends him. It tastes as sweet as fetid waters in old pipes. Its promises are the deception of an enforcer's smile. Its face is elusive. Master-at-Arms, are you convinced we have found the culprits? The situation is clear, your ladyship. The Emperor has sent us a portent. The protector of mankind guides the hands of his holy servants to guard us and warn us of hidden threats. Argenta, God Emperor, I thank thee for protecting us, even though there are instruments of your protection whose purity and holiness I may never understand. Heinrichs, Anya, regardless of how regularly you kneel before an altar, I advise you to take this warning seriously. If I'm correct in my suspicions about what's transpiring here, I pray to the throne that I'm not. Then you can indeed consider this incident a sign that the Emperor's watching over you and this ship. Why so cryptic, Heinrichs? If you have any theories about what's occurring here, share them. My theories are classified information of the Inquisition, and I cannot divulge without good reason. If evidence comes to light that confirms my fears, I will disclose everything necessary. If, however, my concern is baseless, I would not wish to share knowledge dangerous to you without cause. Could it be a coincidence that the victim of the ritual was a genetic aberration? The officers around you keep a respectful silence, but you can tell by their faint smiles they find the very idea of doubting the Emperor's providence absurd. The cult of Bloodspun Web will face no persecution for their deed. The vizier freezes, listening to silence, then nods to nothing. Yes, yes, I will tell her. He turns his sewn-shut eyes to you once more. We are seeds in your hands, giver of life. Whether you keep us or scatter us, we will remain grateful. Be that as it may, we have hit a dead end. We're hoping that exposing the culprits would lead to the aberration's lair. Well, let the blood-spun web find the mutants breeding on my ship. Vizier, no spinner or brave warrior from the Daman circle can find the roots of the unclean, for it can appear as human and act as human. Only its thoughts betray its vile nature. Only its thoughts are never human. Oh. Wise? Is it unclean thoughts we need to find? Very well, let Wise find them. He knows how, no matter how badly he wishes the rest of us forgot about it. Venny Zachary is a fearsome hunter. When he hunts, the flagship wails. When he thinks, my teeth creak, and I can feel pain as if I'm young again. But his power is great indeed. He can hunt down our prey. That is all, Master-at-Arms. Your duty is done. I give you leave to wrap up the investigation on the officer's deck. My duty will be done when the threat is eliminated. I will brief the enforcers while you consult Choirmaster Weiss, Lord Captain. We are going to leave this episode here. Thank you for joining me. Please give a like and subscribe. Hope to see you next time. Bye-bye now.